C'est là il dit.
Est-ce que vous êtes d'accord? Vous êtes d'accord que les Africains, en général, sont malhonnêtes, comme le dit M. Robert? Ils n'ont pas la notion de sincérité. Si vous avez cette notion, ne pouvons-nous pas être en accord que la grande majorité n'ont pas cette notion de sincérité en ce qui concerne l'argent et les biens?
Même dans les...
Are Africans dishonest? Are Africans by nature more likely to be insincere, to be corrupt, to be untrustworthy, to be manipulative, to be devious? Is there something about Africa, something of an evil spice in Africans that just makes us, just a little bit more evil than other people? Is that the reason why our countries are the way they are? I mean, if you think your country is okay, fine. But when you compare African countries with countries in other parts of the world, you realize there's something wrong. We are so far backwards. And is that due in some part to us being by nature a little bit less capable of adopting the integrity, the dignity, and the honor that is required to build societies that are worthy of living in? Is that part of the reason? I came across this discussion on the internet, and we have these two gentlemen discussing just how evil Africans can be. Watch.
Même dans le partage, en Afrique, il y a une fête, on donne 12 bouteilles, il y a quelqu'un qui va garder 5 et distribuer les 7. C'est ça l'Africain, ça commence par là. On connaît. Un chef donne l'enveloppe, un ministre qui est venu, $1000. Lui, il prend 1500, il dit, le chef ne va pas donner 500. On connaît comment les gens se bagarrent, c'est chamaillé comme ça.
Mais est-ce qu'il faut rire par rapport à ça? Ou il faut prendre ça au sérieux? Parce que c'est facile de rire, de dire que bon, voilà, les Africains sont comme ça. Ce sont des vices, c'est clair. C'est de la malhonnêteté.
Même pour construire les routes. On donne à un ministre de l'argent, 1 million. 500 millions, il met dans sa poche.
Oui.
Voilà pourquoi on n'a pas d'infrastructure, on n'a rien. C'est pas parce que peut-être les gens sont méchants. Ce sont les gens qui sont méchants.
Les gens sont malhonnêtes.
Tu ne verras jamais un blanc te demander de l'argent pour te donner de l'embauche. Mais c'est l'Africain qui va te demander, l'Africain demande à s'offrir de l'argent. On a vu même le service de gardiennage. On te demande de l'argent.
Et pourtant, tu n'as rien à offrir.
Au moment où c'est
tu galères, tu es dans la misère, mais on te demande de l'argent pour te connecter.
Tu ne verras jamais.
L'argent de connexion.
Là, te demander.
Mais les gens ailleurs ne demandent pas ça. Il y a pas
ça. C'est bizarre. Même nos banques qui ne sont pas sérieuses. Tu arrives dans une banque, pour retirer ton argent, tu dois payer. Il faut corrompre les gérants de banque.
Pour retirer ton propre argent.
Moi, je t'ai dit, il m'est arrivé. C'est honteux.
L'argent est venu d'ailleurs. Transfert.
On te dit, en tout cas, l'argent n'est pas reflété. Et puis il me dit, viens, toi, tu ne connais pas le système. Ici, il y a l'opération retour. Donc, comme on t'a envoyé 10 000, donne-nous 200. Ton argent est là. Si tu fais gros dos, tu n'auras pas cet argent. Vous voyez, l'Africain.
Mais d'abord, est-ce que...
The number of scenarios he gives, I would like to argue that it's false. I mean, I would like to disagree with this guy. I would like to say it's a lie. I've never seen this in Africa. I have no family members who try to appropriate things that have been given for other people, for the general public, for themselves. I've never seen any bank or any financial institutions where you go in and you're asked to pay bribes. I've never seen this. I've never seen any of these things. Everything in Africa is peaceful and nice. I would like to present that argument, but I'll just be lying. Because I'm telling you, I have been in several of these scenarios where somebody asks you for money to do something that is supposed to be free. Someone is asking you for money for bribes for the most ridiculous reasons. And I can attest to the corruptness of our institutions. So there's truth in what he's saying. There's a lot of truth in it. So I tried to frame so many arguments against this. The first argument I had was this. It's not like we Africans are naturally wicked or evil or lacking in honor and integrity. It is the fact that our systems are so badly broken that a person of integrity would find himself at the bottom of the hierarchy at all times. Our systems do not encourage hard labor and honesty. They do not do it. Our systems do not encourage hard work. They do not encourage honesty and virtue and piety. If you are an honest person in Africa, a hardworking young man, you probably end up at the bottom of the hierarchy. And then what will make you most angry and bitter is the fact that you look up at the hierarchy and you see people up there who are barely working. You see lazy, dishonorable, just evil people at the top of the hierarchy. So it's almost like it is a requirement for you to go up the hierarchy in African countries that you compromise your moral integrity. That's what I think. If you keep on to your moral integrity in African societies, you're probably not going to get at the bottom. You will be left with nothing, because every corrupt person around you will benefit from the corrupt systems that are in place and will lift themselves up out of the bottom and leave you right there. I don't know if this makes a lot of sense, but it's exactly what I think is a sentiment among many Africans. And I have seen this, I've heard people say this. So it's the reality. The reality in Africa is that the system is broken. And so Africans have to compromise their morals in order to get even the least, the crumbs from the table of the rich who are taking advantage of everybody. That's what I think. So that's the only argument I could come up with, because I don't just want to believe that it's some natural kind of thing. It's not natural. That is the argument I think I can come up with to counteract, not to counteract, but to explain most of this accusation. One thing I know for sure is that it is true that there's a lot of dishonesty and bribery, and these vices are abundant and pervasive in the African society. The African society is not, there's not a lot of trust, a lot of social trust. We don't trust each other. We don't treat each other in a way that is worthy of trust. We do not trust our institutions and the people running them. I think it's a systematic problem. So what I'm saying essentially is that I think the reason why there's a lot of this lack of integrity in African societies is not because the nature of the African is to be deceitful and evil. It is more because the systems in these countries are broken, and so Africans have to do what they have to do in order to get anywhere. So I am saying basically that it is not a matter of human nature or African nature. It's more a matter of it's a systematic issue. And so the answer to all of this bribery and corruption and all of these things lies in fixing our political institutions, lies in fixing our social institutions, making sure that we get the right people at the head of the right institutions that will then begin to build that social trust. And if everybody has enough, there'll be no need for people to cheat and steal. I've seen this in China, and I've even had my teacher tell me that 20 years back, you could not move around Shanghai with your phone or your electronics hanging around. You would be robbed so easily. But nowadays, everyone has phones and everyone has electronics, and so there's no need for anybody to steal. As the society moves upward, there is no longer the necessity for people to compromise their morals in order to benefit from certain financial advantages, because you can get that because the system works. Anyways, tell me what you guys think of this. Why do you think that is in African countries? How do you explain the level of bribery, the level of corruption that is so blatantly evident in African countries? How do you explain it? What do you think it comes from? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.